Welcome to this week's Q&A. We've got a great question from a viewer in London today, and he's asking what is going to be the impact of the federal election on us as investors. So let's look at that more against the current backdrop, I suppose, that we have already in place. We've got the RBA looking at aggressive monetary policy tightening. We've got equity markets and housing markets drifting lower from their highs, and we have the election coming up where both major parties, the coalition and Labor, really don't have a great deal of difference between their policies, and people are looking at this as being a bit of a, as they call it, a small target election campaign. So there's a growing, perhaps, dissatisfaction amongst the electorate where people are saying, well, I don't want to vote for either of those parties, and it could lead to the rise of more independents winning seats from the major parties and thereby creating a hung parliament. And I think that's a very real potential outcome now, and it's something that we need to consider because it's potentially the worst outcome for consumers and for businesses, as it could lead to us paying higher interest rates. It certainly could lead to a re-rating of the Australian equity markets downwards as global markets become more cautious of Australia because of potential instability, and also now with monetary policy tightening, fiscal policy becomes so much more important. And if we do have a hung parliament, it could potentially impact some of the current fiscal plans in place, current settings in place, and future fiscal policy as outlined in the budget. So they're the important outcomes, I think, that come from this election, and that could impact us as investors, and something that's worth bearing in mind. Not that we have a great deal of control over it as individuals, however, in aggregate, clearly, it may be better to have one of the major parties ruling in their own right, rather than having this this minority government situation come into play where we would have independents then controlling that balance of power and creating this unstable situation, which I believe will create more issues for all of us concerned. So we don't have long to wait. We're only less than 3 weeks out from the election date. Let's see what transpires there, and I'll keep you posted. So if you like what we're saying in our Q&As, please join our YouTube channel and click like, and I'll see you again next week, and we'll cover some more questions that our viewers send in from around the world. I'm Andrew Unterweger from Wise Guru. All the very best.